Hello everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Today, I've got a brand new story to share. Let's dive in. My day started like any other. I woke up early, got ready, and gave Amelia a goodbye kiss while she was still asleep before heading out to my construction job. However, what seemed like a normal day quickly turned into something unexpected. Later that evening, while I was working on site, I felt my phone buzzing in my pocket. I checked it and saw a message from my neighbor Mike. "Dustin, your garage door is open." I found this strange since I clearly remembered closing it. I thanked Mike and asked if he could close it for me, which he agreed to. I went back to work, but something about the open door kept nagging at me. Trusting my instincts, I decided to take an early lunch and drove back home. As I got closer, my heart rate picked up. I noticed an unfamiliar car parked in my driveway, one I had never seen before. A sick feeling hit me. I quietly parked my truck on the street and approached my house without making any noise. I opened the side door that led into the garage, and it wasn't locked. Neither was the door leading from the garage into the house. Walking through the house barefoot, I was struck by the most devastating sight. There was Emily, my wife, on all fours, with a stranger behind her. The sounds of their actions filled the room. The man held her waist and kept thrusting, occasionally slapping her, causing her skin to redden. Emily was encouraging him, her words filled with excitement. I stood there, consumed by anger, everything feeling blurry as nausea overwhelmed me. I stepped back and took out my phone, ensuring the flash was off. I discreetly snapped a few pictures of them kissing and recorded a short video of the scene. In that moment, I realized that reacting violently would only cause more trouble. I needed to show Emily exactly what she was about to lose. It was time for a plan, one that would let me keep my dignity intact. After taking a breath to calm myself, I walked away from the house, heart heavy but with a plan in mind. I decided to reach out to a lawyer friend for guidance. Since we lived in North Carolina, I knew that I needed some solid evidence to possibly reduce any alimony I might have to pay. I showed my lawyer friend the photos and videos, and though he wasn't a divorce lawyer, he gave me advice and pointed me in the direction of a highly recommended divorce attorney. After meeting with the attorney, we discussed everything, and she explained that North Carolina is a no-fault state, but infidelity could still influence alimony payments. We began preparing the divorce papers, and Emily had no idea what was coming. A few days later, my lawyer and I arranged a meeting at a local cafe to present the divorce papers to Emily. She was surprised to see me and appeared confused, asking, "Dustin, what's going on?" I slid the papers across the table, and her expression shifted from confusion to shock. She stammered, "I don't understand." I replied, "I think you do. I saw you with him." Her face turned pale as the reality set in. Tears flowed as she apologized, but despite the pain, I knew I was making the right decision. Emily refused to sign the divorce papers, but by then, I had already moved out. The house was under her parents' name, so I didn't need to worry about that. The day after I gave her the papers, her parents offered financial help so she could hire her own lawyer, though they had no idea about the reasons for the divorce. I assumed Emily wouldn't tell them, so I decided to mail them the photos and video I had taken of her with the stranger. A few weeks later, during the divorce hearing, Emily's parents didn't show up. My lawyer told me that she would likely try to ask for alimony, but it was unlikely to succeed. Her attorney argued that I wasn't a good provider and had been emotionally abusive, but the judge warned her to be truthful in court, and she kept lying. We presented the evidence to the judge, and he ruled in my favor, granting me the divorce without awarding her any alimony. I had 30 days to retrieve my belongings, which consisted mostly of a couple of boxes. 3 months after the divorce, I went to collect my things. As I pulled into the driveway, I noticed the same unfamiliar car. It stung a bit, but the feeling faded quickly. This time, the garage door was intentionally left open so I could gather my belongings. Emily had messaged me, asking if we could meet, so I agreed. We met at the same cafe where I had given her the divorce papers. This time, Emily didn't seem like the confident, self-assured woman I once knew. Instead, she looked pale and remorseful. She talked about how difficult life had been for her and expressed regret over her decisions, telling me how much she missed me. I remained silent throughout her speech, feeling a growing distance from her. Finally, I turned to her and said, "Emily, I hope everything works out for you, but that part of my life is over." Despite her attempts to change my mind, I stayed resolute, and as I left the cafe, I realized I had won not because she was sorry, but because I had found peace within myself. I had moved on and was rebuilding my life. About 7 months later, Emily's father passed away from cancer. He had never expressed regret for how he reacted to our divorce, but her mother did apologize and invited me to the funeral. I wasn't too sure whether to go, but I had no issues with her mother, and I decided that the past was the past. I attended the service, and as the weeks passed, rumors circulated about Emily. She was arrested for DUI, and her current partner became involved in drug trafficking. I learned about this from her mother, who still occasionally reached out to me. Despite everything, I didn't hold any ill will toward her or her family. My lawyer had advised me to avoid seeking revenge, and I took that advice. Life had moved on, and I had found my strength, peace, and the resilience to keep going. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.